Topping our news this week, Shelby Township is getting artsy. We'll tell you all about this year's art fair and how everyone is getting ready for the annual event. Charlie?
There's not much left of the old Big Boy site at 21 and Van Dyke, and coming up on Shelby this week, I'll tell you what's expected to take its place.
And fun at the ballpark. Residents gathered for Shelby Township night at Jimmy John's Field, and we were there to enjoy the fun, food, and of course, the ball game. Dan?
Coming up, it's well past closing time and Wizards have taken over Barnes & Noble. I'm going to tell you why.
It's all in this edition of Shelby This Week. But first, we'd like to update you on the results from the primary elections. First up, in the township elections, the incumbent Rick Stathakis will stay our supervisor. He won with 61% of the votes. Richard Batchelder got 39%. Stanley Grote ran unopposed. He'll remain our township clerk. And for township treasurer, the incumbent Michael Flynn won with 58.7% of the votes. He beat Nick Nightingale, who had 41.3% of the votes. Moving on to the 4 seats on our township's board, Doug Wozniak will remain on the board. He won with more than 21% of the votes, followed by Vince Viviano with almost 18%. Lynn Wilhelm will take a seat on our board of trustees with more than 15% of the vote. And the last spot went to John Vermeulen with 14.5%. Only 213 votes separated Vermeulen and Anthony Apone, who was also running in the final tally. Moving on to the county elections and the race for representative in the 30th district. On the Republican side, Diana Farrington beat out Michael Shalal, Joseph Bogdan, and Jackie Ryan. Only 54 votes separated Farrington and Shalal. Bogdan and Ryan both came in just shy of 11%. Farrington will face off against Michael Naughty on the Democratic side. He took 77% of the votes against John Spica, who had almost 23%. In the race for the representative in Congress in the 10th District, Paul Mitchell will represent the Republicans in November. He won with more than 30% of the votes, followed by Alan Sanborn with 25%. Philip Pavlov, Tony Forlini, and David Van Ash all received under 17%. Paul Mitchell will go head-to-head with Democrat Frank Accavetti Jr. in the general election. Moving on to the county sheriff, Paul Smith beat Philip Newmeyer on the Republican side. Smith received just over 53% of the votes, Newmeyer with more than 46%. Smith will face off against the current Macomb County Sheriff, Anthony Wickersham, in November. For county clerk, the Republican side was a tight race. Karen Spranger beat Julie Ann Williams. Only 311 votes separated those two. Sylvia Grote and Deborah Gunther both fell around the 20% mark. Spranger will face off against Democrat Fred Miller, who received 40% of the votes. He beat out Paul Voino and Denise Doherty. For county treasurer, Larry Rocca won on the Republican side with more than 44%. He beat out Aaron Stahl, who hovered around 40%, and Paul Vire for the opportunity to go against the incumbent Democrat Derek Miller, who was appointed the position back in February. And in the race for Public Works Commissioner, the well-known Candace Miller ran away with the race. She received 81% of the votes against Joseph Hunt, who had almost 19%. Miller will go against the incumbent Anthony Morocco in November. And for County Commissioner in the 6th District, no one ran against James Carabelli and Ken Reed, so they'll face off in November. The same goes for Peter Lucido and Diane Young. They ran unopposed, so we'll see them in November as well. Lastly, let's take a look at those millages. The Macomb County Zoological Authority renewal millage was approved with almost 59% of the votes. The Utica Library millage increase passed as well with 74% of the votes. And the Macomb County Veterans millage passed with 73% of the votes. When it comes to voter turnout in Macomb County, 19% came out to the polls, and only 23.5% turned out here in Shelby Township. Congratulations to everyone who ran and the winners as well. Plans have been moving fast to demolish the old Big Boy site at 21 Mile and Van Dyke. Just a few weeks ago, after the township unveiled its new blight initiative, the Big Boy is coming down. Charlie Cadado tells us what's in store for the future township eyesores.
Well, the Big Boy closed its doors back in 2011, and in the past 5 years, it's become more of an eyesore. The building was not in good condition, the roof was in poor shape, so a lot of people were happy to see a crane pull in. In the rubble, it's easy to see what used to be. The checkered patterns, the turquoise booths. The old Big Boy is now gone.
We have a new retail strip center proposed, and we're so excited to see that essentially demolished and something new come to Shelby Township.
Memories of the past date back more than 70 years. The building has been up for a long time, and many shared special meals and special memories here. Demolition workers tell me it'll take another week before the parcel is completely safe and ready to build. The plan is to turn this land into something new.
This is a process.
It's all part of the township's ongoing blight initiative. It includes 2 other buildings near 21 in Van Dyke and a few other township eyesores.
So we have 4 sites that we've targeted and 4 sites that we've gotten some considerable traction on so far.
Officials want to tear down old buildings to replace them with new development. Buildings like this one, which will eventually be built at the old Big Boy site, anticipated to be a large retail building with a drive-through and, so far, an Art Van mattress store. Other businesses are also expected.
The Sleep Number store that's proposed to be moving in at 21 in Van Dyke was south of Hall Road, east of Van Dyke in Utica. So they're looking for a newer store. They're looking for, to them, a better location.
A better location which a lot of residents say will turn this corner of 21 Mile upside down. More on that new development. It's expected to be completed by the end of this year. Again, 8,300 square feet. So another strip center coming to Shelby Township. Reporting for Shelby This Week, I'm Charlie Cadotto.
And take a look at this picture. After the crews were done for the day, they let Charlie get an inside look. There are more pictures from inside and video of the demolition as it was happening on our Shelby TV Facebook page. And that blight initiative will continue with a few other sites. The old Van Dyke car repair shop, a building on Auburn and Ryan, and 2 buildings near 21 and Van Dyke are slated to follow suit. We'll keep you updated on those. A Shelby Township woman is accused of stealing from a homeowner. Bloomfield Township police say 26-year-old Stephanie Diaskowski stole more than $13,000 in jewelry from the victim's home while she worked there as a housekeeper. She's also accused of attempting to cash a forged check on the victim's account. Most of the jewelry has been recovered at pawn shops throughout the area. There are plenty of fun things to do on the weekends, but there's one coming to Shelby Township that never disappoints. Our Stacy Sansatera tells us all about the annual art fair that's just days away.
The municipal grounds is the place to be as the Shelby Township PRM department rolls out the 33rd annual Shelby Township Art Fair.
Well, for us it's special because it's kind of more of a hometown feel. It's not a big fair like some of the ones in other parts of the state. It's got a more down-home feel to it, I guess.
And this down-home feel offers something for everyone.
Lots of art. We've got crafters this year as well. We've got our Michigan-made market. We've got some great entertainment, some great food.
And that entertainment comes in many forms, from live performance.
Yeah, such in hand.
Come on, just like they do at the Tiger Games. Come on, put your hands up.
To making music in an unexpected way. And as people come from near and far,
we do get people from all over the country.
You never know what you will find at the Shelby Township Art Fair.
We try to have something for everybody.
An important aspect that can never be ignored is the support of the community.
We got some great sponsors this year. The Monster Mural is back with Christian Financial Credit Union, Genesis Credit Union that is sponsoring our bandshell entertainment.
These contributions made by generous businesses and local service groups are the key to the success of this annual event. And a new Michigan company we all love has signed on to join the fun.
And we've also got Fago coming this year. Yeah, and they're sponsoring the Detroit Fly House Circus And they're going to be bringing out some big coolers with lots of samples for fairgoers.
The Shelby Township Art Fair takes place August 13th and 14th. Get all the information on this family fun event by visiting the website on your screen. For Shelby This Week, I'm Stacy Sansatera.
Even with the rain, lots of people came out for Shelby Township Night at the ballpark. Everyone from elected officials to township employees to Shelby residents came to Jimmy John's Field for the big event. They enjoyed refreshments, kids enjoyed the wiffle ball field, and of course, everyone enjoyed the game. The goal was to provide our community with an opportunity to experience the state-of-the-art field together. At the inaugural game, the Utica Unicorns faced off against the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. The Diamond Hoppers won 6-0. Shelby Township honored our police department with a show of pride and gratitude. In an effort to keep a positive light on police after the attacks on law enforcement, the township sold the department's DARE t-shirts.
In light of the recent sort of unnerving attacks that have been going on police, we want the police to know that we live in a community that embraces them, and we're very, very thankful for who they are.
We get to interact with them all the time here on the Shelby Municipal Campus, and they're so funny and they're lighthearted and they do so much for the community.
And the township also dressed up the trees and lamp posts with blue ribbons throughout the municipal grounds. And the employees went an extra step to show police they care.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
The municipal office made sure to wear their blue in support, whether it was their DARE shirt or just a plain blue one. They wanted our police department to know how much they support them.
We're truly humbled at this designation or honor that they gave us today.
In 1998, the first book in one of the biggest series hit store shelves. Now, years later, 7 books later, and 8 movies later, the 8th book has arrived, even when there were no plans for it until just recently. Our Dan Myers has more from the midnight release of the newest Harry Potter book.
It's been 18 years since Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone was first released in the United States, and 9 years since its last publication book. But here tonight at Barnes & Noble on Hall Road, fans eagerly await for the new release of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
We're celebrating all things Harry Potter. We are basically celebrating our countdown to Midnight Madness party, and it is the launch tonight, the debut of the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child book, parts 1 and 2. The book goes on sale at 12:01 a.m. on Sunday, so we have all kinds of activities and everything Harry Potter tonight. So all of our customers have a way to spend their time at Barnes & Noble and basically enjoy themselves and celebrate Harry Potter. We have wand making, Hogwarts time making. We have a special potions demonstrating. We have activity sheets, we have coloring sheets, we have story ball. We also have charades and trivia. We have Dumbledore's Pensieve, where people can write their favorite quote or memory from Harry Potter, either the books or the movies, and tie it onto a memory thread for everyone to see. We also have a Muggle wall. And on the Muggle wall, people can write down their favorite Harry Potter moment or memory. And we also do have a special photo op where people can take pictures if they're a notorious wizard. Several months ago, we were planning for the Harry Potter party. And we were all really excited because all of the booksellers and everyone at Barnes & Noble absolutely loves Harry Potter. So we certainly have experience celebrating Harry Potter. And it was a very long time before we had anything like this. The product is one of the most important Barnes & Noble products that we have as far as all of these things are concerned. So Harry Potter is very important and very special to all of us at Barnes & Noble. When you first walk in, you come to our welcome table and you will get sorted into your house if you don't know which house you belong to. So it could be Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, or Slytherin.
Another one of the many activities Barnes & Noble had was a costume contest. Plenty of excited readers showed up dressed as their favorite Harry Potter character. The big winners of the night were Paul and Kim Nanny from Mount Clemens. They were dressed up as Dumbledore and Professor McGonagall. The couple looked so good, they even had many requests for pictures. Upon witnessing the popularity of the books, Paul and Kim give us insight into why Harry Potter appeals to readers of all ages.
Fans, I would say from 6 years old to where we are now, which is way past the age of consent. The books say to me every person you've ever met in your life, every character you've ever met in your life. You meet nice people, you meet mean people, you meet sad people, you meet happy people. And the moral of it is, for me, that there are all kinds of people in the world. So anything, and also for me, anything that'll get kids to read books is terrific. It's great.
And when you read them, you'll meet your best friend, your worst enemy, the teacher that made you learn in spite of yourself, the teacher that everybody you grew up with is somewhere in those stories.
I just like when you turn the page, it feels like you're there. You don't realize you're reading. It's just this totally new environment and whole new world you can learn about.
Well, now that it's after midnight, Harry Potter has officially hit the shelves, and fans are super excited. I've got my copy. Can't wait to read it. Reporting to you from Utica's Barnes & Noble, I'm Dan Myers.
Next on Shelby This Week, Big League Bound. We'll tell you where the 5th United Shore Professional Baseball League player is heading as he gets called up to greener outfields. Lindsay?
Most people think that eating food past the listed date can endanger their health. Coming up on Shelby This Week, I'll tell you why you shouldn't let these expiration dates intimidate you.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat?
1 in 5 children struggles with hunger in America. Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
We've got a job opportunity for you to look into in Shelby Township's Parks, Recreation, and Maintenance Department. They're looking for a full-time utility worker. Duties include performing repairs and maintenance of township building, facilities, and grounds. This includes security accommodations with various meetings and activities that go on as well. The salary is just over $31,000 to more than $37,000. You must have a high school degree or something equivalent. To apply, head to the careers section on shelbytwp.org. We've all looked at labels on our food and seen they're past the date and thought, is this still good? Our Lindsay Cameron did the research to tell you all of the helpful tips on what each label means and how long you have until that food is really too far gone to eat.
It can be pretty tricky to decipher what the dates on food packages actually mean. Most of the time, they're just a suggestion that have a lot more to do with quality rather than safety. So, what exactly do they mean? Different types of labels mean different things. In most cases, you won't be able to find an expiration label, so before you clean out your fridge, make sure you know exactly what the labels mean. The sell-by label indicates when stores must take the item off their shelves. The food usually remains good for several days past that date. The use-by date is the day that the food will begin to lose freshness. You can still safely eat these items for several days and even weeks after. Best if used by is exactly what it says. The food will taste best if you eat it by then, and is still completely safe to eat days and even weeks later. You can usually drink milk for several days after the date on the carton, and eat yogurt for a couple of weeks after the stamp date. Just be sure to keep all dairy products refrigerated. You can eat eggs for up to 5 weeks past the date listed on their carton. To keep them fresh for as long as possible, keep them in their carton on a shelf of the refrigerator. Canned goods can be good for up to 5 years past the listed date, as long as the seal isn't broken. And despite popular belief, a dented can does not affect the food inside, unless it's also rusting, bulging, or leaking. Meat such as beef and chicken or fish should be placed in the freezer within 2 days of purchase. After freezing, they are best if eaten within 1 year. Ground meats should be eaten within 4 months of freezing. If you are unsure if a food item is still safe, you could always call the manufacturer, whose number is often located on the package. The most important thing you can do is use your head. If food looks, tastes, or smells weird, you may have to throw it out. For Shelby This Week, Lindsay Cameron.
Woodward Dream Cruise is just around the corner, and that means everyone is pulling out their classic cars. Utica is giving you a chance to join in on the classic fun at the annual Gasoline Alley. The event is not only a classic car show, but a swap meet and classic gasoline show. So whether you want to participate and bring down your car, or you just want to attend and look at all of the cool vehicles, put this date in your calendar. Utica's Gasoline Alley will be on Saturday, August 13th from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. in downtown Utica. You can find more information about the event and where to register your car on Shelby TV's Facebook page. We might as well start calling Jimmy John's Field a field of dreams now that another player has been sent to the big leagues. Dalton DiNatale, the first baseman for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, has signed with the LA Dodgers. DiNatale played college ball for Arizona State before being drafted by the Washington Nationals last year. He spent one season in rookie ball before being released. DiNatale is already reporting to the Dodgers. He's the fifth player signed by an MLB player. Past players include Ross Vance, who we talked to after he was signed to the Cardinals, Aaron Boss, who was with the Yankees, and the Pirates both picked up Chris McDonald and Evan Bichota. Still ahead on Shelby this week, history on the municipal grounds. You are welcome into one of the oldest buildings in Shelby. We'll tell you more next. And an urgent call for donations, how you can save 3 lives in very little effort and time. Stay tuned. The American Red Cross is issuing an emergency request for blood and platelet donations. Donations are going faster to hospitals than they're coming in, so they're putting out the call for action asking you to donate. When you donate, you give 1 pint of blood, and that 1 pint will save 3 lives. And donating benefits you as well. You'll receive a mini physical to check your pulse, blood pressure, and hemoglobin. Search for a blood drive near you by heading to this website, redcross.org. In between the municipal building and the police department sits a beautiful little chapel you probably didn't know was there and open to you. The Hope Chapel was first built in 1849 on the northwest corner of 24 Mile Road and Van Dyke. In 2001, the church wanted to build a whole new building, so the township attached the chapel to a trailer and moved it to the municipal grounds. And there it sits with beautiful stained glass windows, chandeliers, and enough space for anyone to get married in.
The nice thing about this chapel is we have renovated it and we have weekly weddings here, rentals. It's becoming extremely popular. It's been a nice revenue source for the Parks and Rec and for Shelby Township.
The township has done a lot of renovations to the chapel, and the newest one will be new front doors. And having a piece of history in Shelby is very important.
Having something like this that's over 100 years old here on the township grounds and being the Parks and Recreation Director, it's nice having this little piece of history here in Shelby Township and able to use it because the people, you'll hear people talk about my grandma and grandpa used to attend that church and my great-grandparents and so on and so forth. And to be able to have this here, we actually have visitors. We had a person come in from, they were visiting family in California, and then they used to live in here a long time ago, and then they asked me to open it up. They wanted to check it out because they said they remember years ago attending the church. And so it's a great piece of history, and we're very happy to have it here in Shelby Township.
If you're interested in renting out the chapel, just visit the Parks and Recreation tab on shelbytwp.org. Who doesn't love a good cover band? Shelby Township's Parks and Recreation Department held a free summer concert at the municipal building. Headlining the show was Captured Detroit, a Journey cover band, and close to 300 people came to enjoy the music and for a little dancing. And that'll be it for us here at Shelby this week, but catch us all the time on shelbytv.org, and you can also find us on Facebook. Just search Shelby TV. We'll leave you now with more music and scenes from the free summer concert. Thanks for watching.